Hi everyone, let's go over my preferred and alternative low time frame and micro Elliott Wave scenarios on Bitcoin. And in my previous videos, I explained that I'm looking for upside as my preferred scenario in either an ABC or a WXY, where if this move from the downside is a wave C, it has to be an impulsive structure. And if we're looking for a wave Y, it has to be a three-wave structure. We were looking for support over here inside that white box area between the two 1.618s as well as the 886, because this was the target area for an expanding flat. And that is the yellow count that you see in a three-wave A, three-wave B, where the target area for wave B was very nicely respected indeed, for then a five-wave impulsive structure to the downside in a wave C, which is then also finishing the blue XMB, and then we're looking for upside, where the target is at least to take the highs at 27.5k, but we also got some highs over here at 28.3k, and just a little bit higher, we have the blue target box, which is my main target actually, at 28.9k to 29.2k, because over here we have some very nice confluence and potential resistance. If we then go to the bearish alternative scenario, we're looking at an impulsive structure towards the downside. So the corrective structure has already been finished in a WXY, where the target, common target for wave Y, is a 0.618, taken from the low to the high of W to the low of X. And we also had a resistance box over here, like my target box, which was nicely respected for then a potential short, which was then closed around this area over here, because that was the area of interest for potential longs. In this scenario, we are looking for an impulsive structure towards the downside, which means this is then a wave 1, followed by a three-wave structure in a wave 2, and then eventually more downside in an impulsive structure to the downside in a wave 3. The invalidation of this scenario is taking the high at 27.5k, and you want to see a nice and clear three-wave structure in this wave 2, and we will go into the micro scenarios in a second. The most common target for a wave 2 is the 0.5 to the 786 over here, which is between 26.6k and 27.1k, and currently price is hovering around the golden pocket area, which is one of the most common targets for a wave 2. The 886 over here is a rare target for a wave 2. If we then zoom out for a second and move to the 4 hour, I want to show you this range. Now, I've shown this in some videos like a couple of days ago, and this is a very high time frame range, which starts at the 17th of March this year from where we are right now. And what you see is a volume profile showing us the volume of this whole structure over here. Currently, price is starting to enter this volume area over here, and if price can enter this volume area, backtest maybe the value area low over here, it has quite a high probability to reach the value area high, which is sitting at 28.9k. So that is actually a very nice opportunity for a potential long setup. Of course, no financial advice, you follow your plan and your strategy, but this is very interesting, where if price can enter this value area, move towards the upside, the first take profit usually is the point of control at 28k, and then the second one is the value area high. And then we have to wait and see if price wants to continue or wants to then move back to the downside. If we go, however, to the 1 hour time frame, and I show you this volume profile on the chart, you can argue if we already backtested the value area low, the yes or the no. We do have a little bit of a red 1 hour candle over here. Didn't really touch the value area low, but of course one can argue like, okay, if this is a potential backtest, well, we can potentially enter a long over here, stop loss below, looking for more upside in then the bullish scenario, which then also includes this volume profile of this range over here, which is a very important range because we've been basically ranging here for months now, right? So definitely a range to keep an eye on, and I would recommend to put this one on your chart by using the volume profile tool over here, fixed range volume profile, that you can find in your tools, and starting on the 17th of March to where we are today. If we then go to the micro scenarios, this is the bullish scenario. A 1-2, 1-2, followed then by an explosive beginning of a wave 3 to the upside. So we have wave 1, then we have wave 2. And this was an odd one, and I actually spoke about it with people in the group as well on the live stream, that over here we had a wave 1, followed by a WXY in a wave 2. Now, first of all, this move over here retraced to the 0.382, which is a rare target for a wave 2 and not a common target for a wave 2. Then this three-wave move towards the upside, reaching over here, is actually also hitting a rare target, because that is a 1.618 target. So if I move it to the right, you can see that these candles over here closed around the 1.618, which is a rare target for a potential wave X as well as an expanding flat wave B, but also a wave X, because in this scenario we're looking for a 3 wave in a W, 3 wave in an X, and a 3 wave in a wave Y, which then is finishing a wave 2. Then we have another wave 1 to the upside, followed by a 3 wave correction in a wave 2, which also had a bullish CVD divergences. And I explained this in previous videos where if price came to the downside, we had the golden pocket over here, as can be seen, taken from the low of 2 to the high of 1, for then the potential long setup that we had right over here, potential CVD long setup. Of course, no financial advice, but from a CVD educational Elliott Wave perspective, we had a potential setup over there as well, for then eventually the target of this setup taking the high over here, which price of course has done as we passed that high. So that was very interesting, and that's also what you like to see. If you have a wave 1 and then a wave 2, preferably you like to see some bullish CVD divergences, and everything you want to know and learn about CVD divergences, click on the card at the right top, as I made a video about it this week. So in this scenario, we are now at the beginning of then a bigger wave 3 impulsive structure to the upside, where you want to see volume increasing while price is moving towards the upside. And as you can see, volume over here, we had a little bit of a dead structure over here because we were in a corrective wave 2 structure. But if this is then the beginning of a wave 3, you want to see that volume increasing, which has happened indeed. That also means that the invalidation is at the low of this structure to the upside, which is currently at 26.3K. If you want to see this in a lot more detail, you have to check out this picture. You can find this one in Discord, as our great trader John, who is doing Elliott Wave counts on literally the 1, 3 or 5 minute time frames, which is crazy, has done this for you, so you can check that out there as well. If we're going to go to the bearish scenario, which of course then is in line with further downside, so we're looking at this scenario over here, where we're looking for a wave 1, 2, and then a further structure to the downside in a 3. We're looking at this to be a 3-wave structure. Right now, a potential 3-wave structure, it isn't as nicely counted, but a potential 3-wave move over here is this to be a wave A, followed by a wave B and a wave C. So we have a 5-3 5-wave move, which fits very nicely, because in the bullish scenario, this is a wave 1, 2, 1, 2, which basically means this is an impulse and this is an impulse. So this can also be a zigzag in a 5-3-5, which then is the beginning of a double zigzag structure, where this is wave W, then we have a corrective X, and then we are looking at another zigzag structure in a 5-3-5 for then a wave Y, where the most common target area for wave Y is between the 1 and the 1.236, which is between 27.1K and 27.3K. And if we open then the fibs, that is basically around the 786 as a main target, or the 886 for resistance. So this area is very important as resistance for Bitcoin at the moment. And if we look at confluences in that area, we have the daily over here, fresh daily at 27.2K. So that is an important level. We also have some resistances where we are now. Of course, we have the golden pocket and the current monthly point of control. So the point of control of this month, which has almost finished, is currently acting as resistance as well, besides the golden pocket. So we got some important resistance over here, but for the target of this bearish scenario, this is the main target for a wave Y. The 0.618 is also a target for a wave Y, where we are right now, but we are kind of like hovering around and above the 0.618, and I would prefer to maybe see a bit more upside. However, this is a target for a wave Y, and preferably, as mentioned already with the bullish scenario, you like to see some bearish divergences on the lower time frames for potentially a move to the downside. Because if we go to the CVD divergences, I already explained these ones where we reach the target, and then of course based on what price does, one can extend a potential long setup. But if we look locally at what is happening over here, and I go to the 5 minute, let's say over here, or maybe even the 3 minute, then you can see, yeah, okay, one might think like, okay, some bearish divergences between this wick over here and the low, like a lower high on price, but you can see on the CVDs, higher and higher high over here. So a lower high on price, higher high on the CVD, little bit of bearish divergences, but keep in mind that also we just pushed towards the upside in high volume. So shorting here at the moment is of course a lot more risky, no financial advice. And these divergences can also be leading, which basically means that price is going to follow the divergences to the upside. So personally, I'm not interested in what I'm seeing over here. If there are any divergences, I prefer to have them with the high, so a lower high on price, and then with these CVDs over here, higher high on the CVD, which is at the moment not something that we are seeing. So that is something that I think is important to mention. And finally, we also have the higher time frame CVD. So let me actually move this off, where we are and have been looking for this lower or a higher low over here, where then the target for this CVD is the high at 27.7k. So a higher low in price, lower low on the CVD on the AGGR chart over here. Template can be downloaded in Discord, where the target is 27.7k. So that is an interesting target that if price is going to continue pushing to the upside, then this bullish CVD divergence is going to play out. And actually, if we talk about CVD divergences, and I really recommend you to check out the video in my end screen in a second, because that's all about like CVD divergences and how to trade it and what it is. We had amazing CVD divergence trades in this range. First of all, we had a higher low over here, but a lower low on the CVD, where the target was this high, played out very nicely. Entry over here, target here, amazing. Then we had a bearish CVD between these highs over here, so a lower high on price, higher high on the CVD, short entry around this area. Also, so locally we had some bearish CVD divergences, so the short could even be entered a little bit lower for then a move to the downside. And if this one now also is going to play out, this one already played out, but if now also this big one is going to play out, it's been an amazing range so far, right? It's been absolutely crazy. Of course, by now this stop loss over here, the entry down here, stop loss most likely break even to play it safe. Same with this one over here. But yeah, it's been a crazy amazing range from a CVD perspective. So I really recommend you guys to check out this video. I hope this video was helpful or valuable to you. Please check out this most recent educational update I've done about the best trading indicator you can use, in my opinion. And for now, thanks for watching and subscribing, and I will see you at the next one. Bye bye.